Hello, hello, and welcome back to Happy Time, Happy Money podcast. And today we have Emily Keable. She is a personal finance addict and millennial working mom from sunny Queensland, Australia. She's passionate about helping women understand and take control of their finances to change the future of financial literacy. Emily uses her own budgeting and investing journey to help others learn along with her and has an unmatched passion for compound interest. Don't get her started at parties. Hi and welcome, Emily.
Hi, thank you for
So
having me.
good to have you here from such a far away in Australia.
Yep,
So awesome. I would love to hear more about how you started this journey and what brought you to where you're at right now.
sure. Well, I have always been interested in money, even from a young age. But I always felt that in my family, we talked about money from sort of a scarcity mindset. I'm the eldest of four. My mum was a stay-at-home mum, and we sort of were always in that mindset of we can't afford this, or we can't afford that, and you need to scrimp and save for everything that you want to achieve in life. And as I got into my 20s and I got married and started having children, I always thought there's got to be more than this. There's got to be, I shouldn't have to work until I'm 65 and then only have my retirement savings to live off. There's got to be a better way. And I was reading and listening to podcasts, looking at websites, and I started learning about investing and property investing. We had an investment property at that time, but I didn't really realize the potential of that I could invest and make that money could support me later on. I didn't really understand what I was doing. So since I started learning about that, I started up my Instagram, and I wanted to share what I was learning, because I thought if I am really interested in this and this is going to change my life, then surely there are other women out there who are thinking the same thing as me and going, this can't be all there is. And they might want to learn about it too, and learn about investing and get the confidence to start investing and start creating generational wealth within their families. I was particularly interested, I speak specifically to other women like me with young children. Childcare and all the things that come with kids and schooling means that we're in a really expensive season of life. So it can seem like there's never enough money for anything. But by budgeting and investing for later, we are able to have a good life now, but also be taking care of our future and our children's futures. So that's sort of what's got me to this point now, this wanting to share and teach and encourage other women to ensure that they're looking after their lives now, but also looking after their lives in the future, and being, looking past having kids. Once they're grown up, we want to retire and have lots of income coming in and live a good life before we get to 60,
I absolutely agree. I feel like we get to live throughout the life and after we retire.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be, for me, like, I always don't get it why people want to retire and do nothing.
Yeah.
It's kind of doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you not want to do anything? Because you're so exhausted working throughout the whole life. And then you're like, I can't do anything. And I mean, great if you have money saved up, but it's really not great. In Russia, it's not a really good, how would I call this? It's like my heart is breaking when I'm looking at the elder population of ours. And it's really sad.
It
So,
is,
but
yeah.
we're
So many
changing that.
people, yeah, like I know that older women are one of the fastest rising demographics of homelessness, because they get to an older age, maybe they've taken time off to raise children, or they've gone back part-time, they've taken a lesser paying job while they've been married, and then a divorce happens, or something happens, and they're left in such a disadvantaged position. Women our entire lives should have the confidence to be looking after our own finances, and knowing that if something were to happen, we can support ourselves. There's backups in place. We don't have to rely on somebody else to look after us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, but you and me are much motivated around that. But like, how can you say, right, when you're younger and then you Like, let's say you have a number in your mind. Let's say for me, it's $2 million, right? That I can have like monthly 10% like coming in of the year, and that is a stable. So how do you stay motivated throughout the 30 years? Like, what do you do?
Oh, I'm lucky, I suppose. I love money. I love seeing it build. I think just getting started, just making those tiny little steps early on and watching that compound interest. You know, you look at those calculators online where you say, I'm going to put in $200 a month, and at a 6 or 7% return in the stock market, you start seeing those numbers ramp up over 30 years. You will be astounded. Like, compound interest is magical, and that helps motivate me. I think looking at that number and going, if I just put this little bit away each month, it's mind-blowing how much that will turn into in 30 years. And knowing the sooner you start, the smaller that number has to be, and it's so manageable if you can start early. But it doesn't matter if you're 30, 40, 50, that compound interest is still going to help you. Time is the most important thing, but just getting started can really motivate you. And knowing what lifestyle you want to live at the end of that savings journey, or if you just want dividends coming in, you don't have to retire when you reach your number. You know, we don't plan on retiring at 50, but by the time I'm 50, I want the option to retire. My parents and my in-laws are both in their 50s. They're all working full time and they don't love it. So I look at them and I go, maybe I don't want to work when I'm 50. Maybe I do, but I want the choice. I want enough money coming in from passive.
Good to have an option. It's good to have an option, right?
Exactly.
So what do you see number one mistake that people making in their financial journey?
Being too nervous to start, or thinking they need to know everything before they start. Investing particularly can be very overwhelming. And I spent a lot of my younger years feeling like investing in the stock market, investing in shares or in property is a huge gamble and I will lose all my money. With a bit of research and a little bit of sort of blind courage, you know, you don't have to invest your entire life savings in the stock market. Start off with $500. There are micro investing apps out there where you can invest $5 a week and watch it grow. You know, so being too saying I'll invest when I earn more money, or I'll invest when I know everything about it, I'm too nervous, is a huge mistake, because just putting that money in and letting it sit there is what helps it grow over time.
Mm-hmm. So just putting it in. So what is the most important aspect of managing money?
I think I wish it was more exciting, to be honest. The most important thing you can do is make sure that your expenses are less than your income. And that's it. So you do that by tracking your expenses, and you can do it manually with an Excel spreadsheet, or you can do it. There are lots of apps out there that will track your spending for you and categorize it. But knowing how much money you have coming in and knowing where that money goes so that you can prioritize your savings, your investing, your wealth creation over other things that are nice but might not be important to you right now, or might not be important to you down the track, is the most important thing you can do to take control of your money and build the life that you want down the track.
Love it. Thank you so much. Well, I feel like that was so helpful, and to our audience, thank you so much. I know you have, that last question that I almost forgot, that I always ask on each episode, is that I want you to fill in the blank for me.
Okay.
So the questions sound like this. If you really knew me, you will know that I am blank.
If you really knew me, you will know that I am just obsessed with building a good life and teaching others how to build it as well, because everybody can do this. Everybody can build the life that they want.
Absolutely. All right. I know you have an awesome free gift for us today for our audience. Can you tell us more about it?
Of course. So as I mentioned, tracking your expenses and knowing your income and expenses it's the foundation of managing your money. So I have put together a little spreadsheet. It's just a little Excel spreadsheet, but it's very customizable. So you can go in and track weekly or monthly or whatever feels right to you. And it just gives you an idea of the different categories and gets you started and gets you thinking about where your money is going and how to be mindful about where your money is going.
Awesome. Well, super good. Thank you so much. And if you're listening or watching to this episode, just scroll down. There's going to be a link to our web page of this particular episode where you can go and find all the links that we mentioned in this episode and get connected to Emily or me. I would love, if you love this podcast, please do rate us, leave a review, and that will warm our hearts. Thank you so much, Emily, for coming over, and thank you so much for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.